This is lesson 1 for anyone taking saxophone in my beginning band class. This would be for a first-year student. So first thing you need is your instrument, preferably a pencil to put in your case, and your red Traditions of Excellence Book 1. This is the Saxophone Book 1, you can see, okay? This goes for like $10.95 currently, and it's free shipping if you use our music shop link. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to stop and read every single thing on page 2 and page 3. This talks about how to put the instrument together, what the pieces are called, how to sit when you're holding an instrument, how to hold it itself, and how to make your first tone. This is really, really good, and I tell everyone, don't just skim it, don't just look at the pictures. I mean, read every single word and maybe go over it a second time, because it's crucial that you know what your instrument parts are called, how to hold it, how to play it, and it just goes over so many things. I'm not going to sit here and read it for you, but I'm going to have everyone do that before I see you again. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to show you how to open your case, how to be safe, how to get it together, and how to make your very first sounds today. So first things first, you always open the case on the floor, and you know the case opens up because the latches go up. If you open it upside down, everything falls out. Okay, most of them will also have a label somewhere on the top or on the front. Okay, so I'm going to open this on the bottom, on the floor, and I'm going to have you do this with me. Get your instrument, pause if you need to. I'm going to pull out just 2 pieces right now, and the 2 pieces I need are I guess a little more than 2 pieces. You're going to need the plastic mouthpiece, this metal ligature, this bent, curved metal piece called the neck, mouthpiece, ligature, neck, okay? And in a second, we're going to need a reed. A reed usually comes in a case like this. Yours might be wrapped up if it's brand new. And we're always careful with these because they break super, super easy. As soon as there's a chip or a crack or anything, it is worthless. So, first step that I'd like you to do, if we use the neck, it gives us a little bit more to hold on to. Let's go ahead and take this mouthpiece and let's put it on top of the neck and give it a slight twist as we push down. We're careful not to twist or bend any of this other metal. Twist and pull down, and you'll see you get it about halfway on, okay? You want the mouthpiece part, the opening, to be opening towards down, okay? If it's like this, it's gonna open down, this flat part's on top. The next step is to take the metal ligature and to place it on top of this plastic mouthpiece. Now, if you go like this, that doesn't fit, does it? Flip it over, pop, it goes all the way down. We want this to be loose, we want this to be easy to slide up and down. The screws will face towards the opening. Screws face towards the opening. The next step, while you're doing this, you'll take your reed out of the case. It's got a flat side, it's got a curved side, and then down at the bottom is this thicker wood. We're gonna take the thin, pointy side, and we're gonna set it on our tongue. No chewing, no biting. You should do that for about 30 seconds to a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and talk while you keep this in your mouth. The next step, I'm gonna show you twice. The next step will be to take the flat side, not the curved side, the flat side that's all plain, and we're going to slide the ligature up a little bit so it's loose. We're going to slide the bigger side down in here. The flat side is up. And once we get it there, we want to try to make it so it's even with the top. We don't want this hanging over. We don't want this hanging under. We want it even with the top, straight up and down. Get the opening of this ligature right here, and then slide the ligature down. I'm going to show you that again. I want you to try it with me, okay? So, your reed has been soaking in your mouth. Just the skinny end, not the big end. You're going to slide up the ligature, place in the thicker side, and go straight down until it's even with the top of here. You might want to see just the barely tiniest bit of plastic. And then I'm going to line up the ligature. If it's not loose, it won't slide down. Loosen it up by lefty-loosey, okay? Once it's centered, you may give it a couple turns. Right now mine's very loose, so So I'm going to turn until I start to feel some resistance, then just a little bit further. Start to feel resistance, about a half turn. Okay, if that's in place, mine's almost a little too high. You should see a little bit of the black plastic when you look at it this way. And you look at it this way, uh-oh, I'm a little too high, I'm gonna fix it. You shouldn't really see the thumbnail sticking up over, okay? I'll fix mine, get it a little lower. There we go. Okay, now as far as making your first sounds go, your bottom lip is going to roll in like this. Just enough to cover your bottom teeth, that's way too far, just a little bit. Your top teeth will go on top of the mouthpiece on this top plastic part. Your bottom lip goes on the wooden part, okay? So your bottom lip rolls in, top teeth go down, okay? And then the rest of your lips are going to seal around to keep air from leaking out. It sounds like this. Uh-oh, I pressed the button. Now, you might be asking, how far does my bottom lip go on this reed? How do I know? Do you have a piece of paper somewhere? Pause if you don't. Get a piece of paper. Any piece of paper that's not dirty will do. I'll take my blue at CMS paper, okay? And if you take it and put it in between the plastic and the wood, you will see this is how far it goes before it stops if your reed is placed in there. Now, that imaginary line right across here where my finger is, we're gonna put our thumbnail there. Leave it there and pull out the paper. You can also see this on page 3 of your book. It shows a blue paper and a reed and a mouthpiece. So my thumb's right here. Right where that thumb went from the paper trick is where my bottom lip will sit. Then top teeth, seal my lips. Take your hand away. Then try taking it out of your mouth. Practice putting it back, finding that spot several times. I'd like you to pause and go ahead and do that for like 3 to 5 minutes. That'd be great. Just get that tone. Try to match mine so that it sounds like mine. Rewind and listen to it again. Should be about here. If it comes out like this, you're probably not putting enough pressure on your bottom lip. If it comes out like this, I might be blowing too hard or pressing too hard. If you're too tall, too high towards the tip, you're pinching it closed, no air can go through it. If you're too low, let's not do that again. That makes a squeak, okay? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next step. This is getting quite a lot further. In your case, you should have a neck strap. Oh, I don't know why mine's twisted. The squishy part goes around your neck. The hooky part will go around your instrument. I'm gonna set this down in a safe location, not where somewhere that it could get broken. This is the body of the saxophone. It is all in one piece. It's really convenient. There's only the mouthpiece with the ligature, the neck, and the body. It's one of the easiest instruments to put together. But you can see how many different buttons and wires and everything there is. It's really easy to break too, so you have to be extremely careful. Always sitting down in a chair with a clear area, no walking around yet. We're not the marching band just yet. On the back is a circle, and you're going to hook this into there. If yours looks a little different than mine, it might be a clip or something, okay? And you want this to sit down so the top is right about at your sternum, okay? Not up to your chin or your neck. And if it's too high, you can loosen this down. If it's too low, you can tighten it up, okay? There will be a little screw here that you want to have loose, and the neck with your mouthpiece attached can just go right into the top with a little twist, and you want this to sit towards you, okay? And at that point, this little screw right here, you can tighten that a little bit, and it will keep the neck from wiggling around too bad. You want the neck to be pointed towards you. If it's pointed up to the side, guess what? Don't move your head to the instrument, move the instrument to your head. Then, we're going to sit up tall. Your left hand, it may look reversed in the video, I don't know. Your left hand, this is my watch hand, this is my ring hand, okay? That's gonna be on top of the instrument. And you can see on the back is a thumb rest for your left thumb. And on the front, there are several buttons We're gonna start from the bottom one. Oh goodness, right there, from the bottom one, and use our ring finger on the bottom, our middle finger on the second one from the bottom, and then of these 3 buttons that are left, we're gonna go for the middle one. So from the bottom, 3, 2, skip this one, 1. We're not gonna use this little tiny key. We're not gonna use this up high key. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. You have to skip those. Your right hand, you're going to use a nice loose C-shaped hand, and you have a thumb rest down here as well, using just this part of your thumb, not your whole web of your hand, not the tip, just the side of your thumb. You're going to hold it, and you'll see, luckily, there's only 3 easy white pearl buttons. 1, 2, 3. Pointer, middle, ring. So we have thumb on the thumb rest, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, and 3. That's where your fingers will sit. Right now, you don't have to worry about pressing any buttons. Go ahead and just have your fingers sitting there. Let's sit up tall. Now the instrument, there are 2 schools of thought. You may either go right between your legs with the mouthpiece here, ready to play, or you may go to your right side. But if you do this, my mouthpiece is turned like this. I don't want to turn my head. I might have to adjust it to fit my head. A lot of schools recommend on the right side. Okay, if I play with no buttons down, same thing, bottom lip, top teeth. Let's try that together. Let's do 4 of those. 1, 2, ready, breathe, play. 1, 2, again, and go. 1, 2, ready. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Now you'll notice I left it in my mouth because that makes it easier to not have to find where you're supposed to be, put it down, find where you're supposed to be. That takes practice to be able to do that quickly, okay? So for now, just go ahead and leave it there. As soon as you find that spot where it makes good sound, let's do it. Okay, now, if you are looking, I'm gonna go ahead and get further. So if you need to pause and come back to this the next day, that's fine. But I'm gonna go ahead and get further. Once you've made first sounds and you know how to hold it successfully from pages 2 and 3 in your book, page 4 saxophone lesson talks about 3 notes. The note B with number 1 busy B, 2 A train, and number 3 music in motion going between those 2. And then when you get to number 4, that's G. Those first 3 notes, B, A, and G. Luckily, especially if you've played a recorder, this is one of the easiest things for fingers. If you have your fingers lined up, first button, second button, third button, the first note is your first finger. That's B. The second note is your first and second finger. That's A. And then your third note is your first, second, and third finger. That's G. And it couldn't be easier. So if we start with no buttons, it'll sound like this. Oh, ow. If I start with my first button down, let's try that. Let's try that again. First finger, that is the note B. Let's try adding a finger. We're skipping this little one. Second finger there. First and second finger. Nothing held down on your thumb. It's just on the thumb rest, not that extra button. This is A. First and second finger. Ready? Let's do it again. Ready? One more time on A. Ready? Now, I want you to try something challenged. This is already what number 3 music in motion is. You're going to try the first note, take a break, play the second note. Play the first note, take a break, play the second note. Let's do it together. Start on B with just your first finger. 1, 2, here is B. Add a finger to play A. Ready? Go back to B by lifting off this finger. Keep it in your mouth. Just breathe and play. Those are your first 2 notes. And if you want to look ahead to G, it is the first finger, the second finger, and the third finger. Remember how these 2 are empty. Okay, using my left hand on top, not my right hand. It won't work. Okay, first, second, and third button. It's G. Let's play it. Sounds like this. Try it with me. 1, 2, G. 1, 2, again, and go. Now, for the challenge, before I leave you, I want you to practice playing B, then A, then G. Let's do it together. Here's B, just my first finger, no other buttons. Ready? Add a finger to go to A. 2, ready, and go. Add a finger to go to G. Ready? Okay, so what I want you to do, work on mouthpiece sounds. Work on playing the first 3 notes. And just focus. If you can't even make the first 3 notes, we want to focus on the sound. If you can get a good sound, that's all I care about right now. The buttons will come later. Tone is everything. Now, as far as putting this away safely, we're going to take this off in reverse. I'm going to loosen the ligature, the metal piece. I'm going to slide it up to make it loose, and the reed I can pull safely out. Then I'm going to take my plastic case, the plastic case that it came with, and I'm going to very carefully place it thin side in and slide it into here. Okay? I put this back in the case. Next, I can take the ligature off for a second, set it down safely, so I can twist this. If I'm holding on to the ligature, it's just going to spin around. So I pull this off. To safely store this, you put the ligature back on, and a lot of these have a cap. You'll put the cap back on how you found it and put it back in your case. Let's do the neck next. There's a little screw again that we tightened to keep the neck from twisting. You can just twist, twist, twist and pull it out. Maybe give it a little shake if there's some spit in there or condensation. Put this back in the neck. Now we're left with 2 pieces, the body of the saxophone and our neck strap. I'm going to take this off, unhook the neck strap, fold it up back in my case. Now freeze. Before you just dump this back in the case, one of our everyday, daily cleaning maintenance things we have to do. Hopefully your case has this cool little rag on a string. It might not look like mine, and it has like a weight, almost like a fishing weight on the other end. What you're going to do is you're going to put it in the top with the fishing weight and allow it to just fall straight down. Kind of feed it down so it doesn't get stuck on anything. Once you hear it hit the bottom, I'm going to turn my saxophone upside down, and hopefully, if I can kind of help it along, hey, look at that. Now simply, I'm caught, help it through. I'm going to carefully pull it through, and now there's nothing yucky that's going to make me sick or make my instrument smell. It's going to stay as healthy and clean. Now I put this back in the case. You can fold this up, put that back in the case, and now you are done. You put your book away, close your stand up, close your case up, and put it somewhere safe so you can get it out and practice again. My last thing I want to tell you before I close this video out, you should have at least, you should have at least 2 reeds in your case. I would recommend 3 or more. You can buy these anywhere. I prefer Rico 2 or 2.5, 2.5. 2.5, the higher the number it is, the harder it is, but the better sound you get. So my high schoolers are all playing at least a 3, okay? And I write number 1 and number 2 and number 3. So today I used a number 1. Tomorrow I'm gonna use a number 2. The next day I'm gonna use a number 3. I take a day off, the next time I play, number 1. And that way you always have 3 reeds that are broken in, comfortable, and ready to go. Oops, 1 broke. That's my new number 1. I'm gonna get a new one out of the box. Uh-oh, number 2, same thing, okay? That way you always have 2 or 3 good reeds, even if one breaks or stops working right or gets lost. You got this.